a wonderfully warm welcome to our panelists today and to everyone watching. This is our first LegalWise Red Roundtable conversation, and it's a place of no judgment and sharing. And it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you here today. In August every year, our country marks Women's Month, the month when we pay tribute to the more than 20,000 women who marched to the Union buildings on the 9th of August 1956. This year, South Africa celebrates Women's Month under the theme, Generation Equality, realizing women's rights for an equal future. Now, the concept of generation equality is a global campaign and links South Africa to the global efforts to achieve gender equality by 2030. It is fitting then that I'm joined by mainly women around the table to discuss the role mentorship has had in creating a pathway for their careers. We also have three mentees today, and thank you for joining us, Refiwe, Luvo, and Sipiwo, who have had their careers shaped by a formal mentoring program. In August 2021, LegalWise embarked on a journey to drive and encourage transformation and equality through the offering of the Beyond Mentorship program. Now, after a rigorous recruitment and selection process, 10 mentees were selected to be part of the program, and 3 of them join me today who were onboarded on the 27th of October 2021. They come from a diverse background with qualifications ranging from law to commerce to agriculture and telecommunication. Now, the aim of today's conversation is really to reflect on some of the learnings, to identify areas of improvement and experiences of our mentees, and ultimately to have a candid conversation that seeks to gather first-hand stories from the assortment of participants around the table and how mentorship has had a positive effect on anyone seeking to identify a desired career, launch a career, improve your career, or identify further career opportunities. Now, let me give my panelists a chance to introduce themselves. So please, Luvo, perhaps you can share a little bit of who you are, a background, and what your story really is all about.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity again, and I'd like to say hello to everyone who's watching from home. Basically, my name is LUVOLWETHU TOKWE. I'm coming from King Williamstown, and I've studied computer science and Bachelor of Mathematics, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Mathematics at the University of Water. And currently, I'm doing my Bachelor of Science honors in computer science. Through this journey of a mentorship program, it has been a great moment because it has developed a pipeline and it has shaped my future so that my dream of becoming a data scientist has become possible. Through that thing, this mentorship program has gave me a sponsor to sponsor me for my honors of study, and without this mentorship program, that would have been impossible. So now I am formally saying that I am going to get my certificate next year. So thank you so much.
Oh, well done. Well done, Luva. That's really great.
Thanks, SIVA. My name is MZAMO. I'm a social entrepreneur. I call myself a youth activist because my heart is after the youth. So I'm a social impact strategist, developer, and implementer focusing on youth, basically, in terms of youth development through education and employment. I also am a runner when I'm not lazy. And also delved into the tech space. As I mentioned, I'm a social impact strategist in terms of providing tech solutions for the youth in terms of connecting them to opportunities from employment and education.
Nita.
Hi everyone, my name is Lita Letemba Stoi. I am from Uitenhage, the Eastern Cape. I am currently the Impact Litigation Manager at LegalWise, so I'm a human rights lawyer by profession. I do strategic litigation. Currently, I'm one of the Mandela Washington Fellows for 2020, and my specialization is also constitutional law and administrative law. Yes.
Hi everyone, I am Refiwe Mlawudzi. I am a recent LLB graduate from the Northwest University, and I am part of the Beyond Mentorship program from LegalWise. I am passionate about human rights law, and I believe that all South Africans should have their rights respected. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am LuVOLWETHU. I'm an attorney by profession and the founder of a platform called Sister in Law, which is a platform I use to educate mostly women on issues that affect them, legal issues that affect them, like child maintenance, marriage contracts, wills and estate planning, various other issues that relate to labor and employment law, constitutional law as well. Recently, I qualified to be a notary, awaiting admission. I'm a 2021 Mandela Washington Fellowship alumni and 2020 Maiden Guardian Top 200 South African. I'm in the space of justice and law.
Wonderful.
Hi everyone, I am Siphiwe Manyifolo. I recently graduated from CPUT. I studied towards a bachelor's degree in paralegal studies. I am passionate about equal access to justice, making sure that the poor and the less privileged got access to justice. I have recently joined a startup company doing tax support, so that is what I'm currently doing. Also, I like hiking.
I think it's always best to get a first-hand account of who you are. So thank you so much for sharing who you are. And we now have a pretty good perspective of who we joined in conversation with today. By means of introduction, I'm SIVA GENGAN, the CEO of LegalWise South Africa. Apart from the hat that I wear as CEO, I'm also a mother, a wife, a sister, a jack of all trades and a master of none. I have over 25 years of experience in the insurance sector. I am a lawyer, a notary, and a conveyancer, so we have something in common. And I'm a business professional specializing in management. I'm very passionate, and I think that has been pretty evident by the work that I do around access to justice and leveraging technology to make justice a reality for the majority of South Africans. So let's kick off the conversation. I thought, who better to start with than you, Noz? As the individual that's responsible for the formal LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program, what would you say mentorship as a concept really is about?
I liked how you even introduced the roundtable in terms of the sharing and the non-judgmental platform. And with mentoring, that's exactly what it is. It's that platform that's provided, it's an opportunity where someone with wisdom and experience can actually share that wisdom and experience to someone else with less experience. We've got some of our mentees that are embarking a new journey in terms of transitioning from the world of school, going into careers, and who better to ask certain questions that they might not have access to. A lot of people tend to confuse it around coaching, where coaching basically comes in terms of performance driven. But with mentoring, it's all about that self-development that comes into play. And that's what the mentoring journey is all about. And then taking it further, it's basically when we're looking at personal goals, career goals, and bringing all of that into one conversation with your mentor as the mentee.
Yeah, I see you shaking your head. It clearly resonates with you. Do you see mentorship in the same way?
Yes, I see it as the same way because it happened to me like clearly as the way that Ms. MZAMO is saying it. So I would say that mentorship is exactly the same way that she explains it. Okay. Thank you.
And if I can add on that, I think everybody should have a mentor because it really does help shape your career and also it helps you develop as a person. So I would encourage people to apply for mentorship.
So what effect has that had for you personally? You know, you've obviously gone through the Beyond Mentorship, LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program. What has it meant for you?
For me, it's been a personal journey. It's been I've grown as a person. I've learned a lot of things, and we've done a lot of activities that have shaped the person that I am today. So it's been a wonderful journey, honestly. And we've had a great mentor who supported us.
Pretend I'm not here.
She really supported. She was very supportive. Yeah. She gave us the resources, and I think it turned out great. Yeah.
Tebelo, having gone through a mentorship program yourself, what would you say are the key ingredients to being a good mentor?
Sure. I think for me, the first thing that I remember from undergoing mentorship myself was the importance of having a career map, you know. Where are you today and where are you trying to be in 3, 5, 10 years time? Very important because you cannot start a journey without a direction. When you get into your car, what do? You switch on the GPS if you're going to an unknown location. And the same applies for your career, your personal and professional development. You need to understand, where am I now? Where am I going? How am I going to get the resources? And once I have the resources, how am I going to apply them to my individual journey? So that's one of the important things I learned from my mentorship journey.
And you, Sipiwa, what do you see mentorship as being? What has it meant for you?
Well, to me, it has meant being coached and having an access to people with a broader knowledge of what you are going through, what you're trying to seek out. So to me, it has become a very beneficial thing because I've been exposed to people who are expertise in their own respective fields, and I've gained more knowledge and insights that careers are not linear. So what we used to do like back then, today may not be like the conventional way. So I've adopted that strategy that maybe I should be more flexible in my career, because now like I'm chasing being a business analyst. So if I had not joined like the mentorship program, I would not have like even wondered maybe that is what I would be interested in. But just listening to expertise like lay out their skills, what they are interested in, and just taking you through their journey, it has like exposed me to so much that now I can really map out my journey and pursue interests that would have not come into pass now. So it has like exposed me to so much, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. I feel like mentorship is a necessity, because when you are new or fresh from university, you're not even sure what you need to do because of the market and the climate. So it has broadened my horizon. I'm pursuing new interests. I'm finding interest now in technology and just taking it as it goes.
I agree. I think, mentorship just opens a whole new world for you, because you simply don't know what you don't know, right? Yes. And I think, Lita, the conversation we had earlier was really great when you said, you've just come back from your trip to the US, and how it's opened an entire horizon. So do you agree?
Yes, so I think the one thing about mentorship is that it shows you where you can go, because people already exist in those spaces. So even adjacent to that, it's not that you, as you're saying, life is not linear. You can change your mind, but at least when you have a mentor, you know that it's possible. Everything is possible. It opens those horizons. It opens even your mind, where you're like, okay, maybe I studied law, but I might want to venture into this. I might want to venture into that. Also, when it's indirect, just having a conversation with someone where you actually can learn. Even if it's just a conversation, you can learn what to do or what not to do. But there's always that space to learn when you're engaging with people.
Yeah, so let's talk about the unspoken agenda here. What makes a good mentor or a bad mentor? Come, tell us. Tell us.
A good mentor is supportive. A good mentor brings forward opportunities. That's it.
I'm going to add on to that because it is a two-way street. That's the most important thing to remember. They are not going to bring opportunities to you. You're going to say, this is what I'm interested in, and I'm going to help you access my network, because now I know what you're interested in. Remember, I said your career map is your individual journey. So I can't bring things to you if you haven't told me where you're going. I can only go source the things for you once you've told me where you're going. The mentorship relationship doesn't always have to be like very technical. Sometimes somebody is an advisor. An advisor is the person you're going to have those one-off conversations with, and they will share insights on, either your industry or just politics which have bearing on your industry or your personal journey. And then you'll have a mentorship, which is what we understand, somebody who will share resources with you. And then you'll have obviously sponsor, like if you're friends with like the CEO and the sponsor is the person who's ultimately going to speak for you in your absence. So that's, one of the relationships that you really want to nurture, and you really want to put your best foot forward. But you can't get to understanding the relationship with a sponsor or boasting how good you are without having learned and applied the resources from your mentor or your advisors.
And just to add, with mentorship, remember there's the two sides. There's the informal, there's that formal side. And we all have to have that balance when we're having our mentors, where we know this is the formal mentorship and that's the informal mentorship. And speaking to that, as the mentees, it's always great that you are the driver. Going back to an analogy of the car, is the mentor is that vehicle. It will take you to wherever you are navigating it to. It's not going to drive itself. Yes, we're getting to self-drive cars. But with mentorship, the mentee has to intentionally drive that relationship, because without you vesting in it like that, remember, you're not replicating the mentor. You are trying to develop yourself as the mentee. So you need to take that ownership and that accountability to say, this is what I'm planning, this is what I want to achieve in life. Then that's where that guiding force comes into play.
So what makes a bad mentor?
Well, I think someone who has no patience and who's technically not knowing what they are doing, because if you cannot, let's say, offer direction, then of course your mentees are going to be misdirected. But what I found to be beneficial for me, like joining this program, was finding someone who is like strategically placed, has the resources, can work around time and improvise, because we know like we're living like through like trying times, load shedding and you know, the job market. So someone who can improvise and just come up with ways and is resourceful, and that inspires you to like, okay, push better and just be a better person.
To add on that one, a bad mentor is someone who's inexperienced on something that is trying to mentor. Yeah. Just imagine just imagine a train being driven by a pilot, much crash. So I would say that someone who's inexperienced is not a good mentor. So a good mentor is someone who's experienced on what we want to do, and also they will give you ideas on the thing that you want to be mentored on. And also as a mentee, as Ms. NOZUKO has said, that you have to be a driver on this thing, because you have to know your desires, and a mentor has to know what you want to achieve. So in order to ground on those things and build a foundation of something that they want to build for you. So
I think also, just to add on bad mentor, and something we've already touched on, but abundance mindset versus poverty mindset. Yeah. Because in the climate we live in, with such unemployment, you also have people who gatekeep. So a person who actually actively does not want to mentor, even though they are leading. So I think that is another, sometimes a part we overlook. Yes. Because even if your mentor is not doing exactly what you're doing, they can put you in rooms that you need to be in. They can take you into those spaces. But then when they don't, I think that's like a telling.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier, and I was saying to our mentees, earlier, it's a question that you may be the first in that space, but you certainly should never be the last, right? So I think that for me defines that mentee-mentor relationship. It's the ability to grow people, because it's really about growing people, the whole mentorship relationship. And I think both a mentee and a mentor grow from it. Isn't that so? That's true. Yeah. So in your experience, having been a mentor to yourself with your social media platforms, how have you found mentoring others? What makes an ideal mentee?
Sure. Been waiting for that. I like calling people out, or mentees out on this a lot. Yes. You cannot come with an entitled mindset. I don't have to do anything for you, I actually don't have to make time for you. And when I am, you better be prepared. I'm not the one who's going to be saying, giving you questions to ask me. Come prepared, say, this is what I'm battling with. This is what I'd like to achieve. This is what I tried to go do myself. Because I always tell people, there are things which you can Google. And then there are soft skills which you really need to have a conversation with your mentor about. Don't come and ask me things that are, readily available for you. Show me that I tried to look, in such a place. I called LegalWise and I asked them what are some of the areas of law that they specialize in. They gave me A, B, C, D. That's when you then pull me in and say, Tebello, I noticed that you and SIVA have been speaking on the Red Table discussion, and that you know her. As somebody who's interested in working at LegalWise, can you set me up 10-minute conversation, coffee with her? Can you do that for me? Then that's where I come in. That's something you couldn't achieve on Google, but you showed me through researching on LegalWise that they do A, B, C. And now when I take you to SIVA, you're not going to give me a bad name, right? Because I've introduced you to my network. And you're going to be prepared as well. And next time, it will be the other way around. You will now be headhunted, because SIVA's going to remember that there was a girl that Tebello was mentoring, and she was very proactive. I want to now pass her on to somebody else. So I think that's a very, very important thing to remember.
Noz, would you agree with that sentiment?
Completely. And it's also the whole fact in terms of you might be in certain rooms with someone, and let's say I post something on LinkedIn, and someone sees I was chatting to one of the posts you might have put on, and Refilwe comes and say, Noz, actually I saw that you were speaking to so-and-so, I'm looking for an opportunity at this place. Do you mind connecting me to that person as well? Because it's roundabout, we might miss certain things as mentors as well, but that's where the homework comes in terms of the mentee actually having done certain homework on the mentor themselves to say, this is how I'm driving this conversation with you. I've noticed A, B, and C. Can you now help me basically in that field?
Rita, your take?
So I agree with everyone. It's like, it's a give and take, but you have to be intentional. So it's not enough to just want to skirt through life or everything just happens to you. At some point you need to take life by the reins and be like, okay, I want to be there in 2 years, I want to be there in 5 years, how can I achieve that? And through the network I already have, what can I gain from that? So starting from there, and that's how you then build bigger networks through the networks others have.
Yeah. And I think it's also a sense of accountability, right? Sure. That the mentee takes accountability for their own journey. It's not as if you abrogate all responsibility when you get into a mentorship relationship, right? So pretty much you co-authoring your own destiny together with your mentor acting as a guide, really. So what do you see as the most valuable lesson, Luvo, that you learned from the entire mentorship journey that you've gone through with LegalWise?
Communicating with somebody is something that is good for someone in order to be given information, because you can't just keep quiet without knowing something. You'll find out that sometimes there are things that I didn't even know, but with the calls that I had with Ms. MZAMO, those calls helped me to know those things. In fact, like some of the places to apply for jobs, I didn't even know those kind of things, but with the help of the mentorship, so that was one of the lessons that I got, to be able to push for something that you want in order to, and also ask for it from somebody who's experienced in order to get something. So that's what I can say, that communication is something that is essential for somebody in order for you to get something that you don't know. That's what I had learned. Yeah.
What I've learned from the program is to be open-minded and to network as much as I can, because it is important when you want to build a career and to build a personal brand. And I've also learned to be proactive, you know, chase opportunities, create opportunities for yourself. I mean, after our most recent meeting, I reached out to an employer on LinkedIn, and I made my case. I told him I needed to serve my articles of flagship and that I needed an opportunity. And he actually said that I beat him to it because he was going to approach me. So basically, I learned to be proactive, and I have been invited for an interview on Thursday.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
For me, it has been like respecting people's time and knowing that we all have got to start somewhere else, and just be patient with yourself, and also to like communicate, because if you don't communicate, no one is going to reach out. So like try your shot, communicate, lay out bare your problems, what you need help in, which area would you like to improve. So I found out that being transparent with your mentor, just like trying by all means to like network, can really bring that value to you, and you can learn from it and grow. So it has been like the most valuable thing I've learned so far from like a mentorship.
As a seasoned professional, Noz, what did mentorship do for you? How do you attribute your success, and what role did mentorship play for you?
So what I've actually learned, so I'll start as a mentee myself, because I'm actually a mentee and a mentor.
Yes, we all are.
And that's a beautiful part of it. So a mentee, I'm not a know-it-all, and that's why also when it comes to the mentoring part as a mentor, I know that I don't know it all. So coming into a mentorship as a mentee, I do already come in knowing that my mentor doesn't know it all. But it doesn't hurt to actually ask, because that's where those networks can open, because I'm now driving to say, yes, you might not be clued up in this element, but is there someone in your network that can assist in that? And personally, as a social entrepreneur, I'm running my own business. That's very key in terms of your own networks, where with most of my clients, I can fully say have come through my mentorship relationships in terms of opening up to my mentors and actually saying, this is what, it's basically backing yourself and saying, this is me, but I need your guidance in this element. Because that's where also you become vulnerable in order to be able to receive basically the feedback. So that's one. But in terms of being a mentor, it's basically the new perspective you learn from your mentees, where I work with youth quite a lot. And there's certain terms I'll be talking about and I'm like, oh, sorry, what was that? And also in terms of engagement, one gets to learn about things like that. But also in terms of industries, things are changing. It's digitization today, you know. And there's certain things that I learned from them myself. And as a mentor, that's very important because we don't come in going in thinking, NOZUKO, when I grew up, this is how the mode of engagement was like. And I'm taking that on. But it's actually to now shift and see and hear other perspective from the group and target audience that you are dealing with in order to be deliverable and be able to engage properly so that they can actually hear and take in whatever that you are sharing with them.
And Tebelo, for you as a professional, how has the mentorship relationship resulted in your success?
Sure. I think one of the best parts of being a mentee specifically was being very much like Refile, being very much proactive. I strongly believe that the worst thing that can happen is that SIVA will say no. Yes, that's the worst thing that can happen. Otherwise, I am really good at shooting my shot and really hoping for the best. And a lot of the time it works. And how I've managed to really win from that is having access to networks and conversations and rooms that I never dreamed I would be in. You know, that has really made me open-minded. It has really empowered me a lot. And just not looking at the relationship as super technical, you know. Sometimes you can understand that it doesn't always have to be, let's sit down and have coffee, you know. I can just learn from whatever you're already sharing on your WhatsApp status, for example. I can learn from the books you've written. I can learn from the conversations you've had with other people that maybe I've been open, or rather that I've been exposed to, say through social media or whatever other channel. Another important thing that as a mentor, I try to get my mentees to remember is that it doesn't always have to be a vertical relationship. Your mentor isn't necessarily somebody who is more educated than you or older than you. It can be a very much horizontal relationship. It can even be the friends you already have. Some of our friends are very, very wise. They may have started their careers before us, or you know, even from way back high school, they may have been better academics, right? And you can tap into their knowledge or tap into friend, how do you apply for ABC? Friend, you were part of the Mandela Washington program. How did you do it? I'm looking to do it. You know, it doesn't always have to be somebody with 10 years experience and so forth. Yeah.
And Nita, for you?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is servant leadership.
Yes.
So serving, because I see that leadership has also shifted from boss to leader and what makes a leader. So I think that's the most important, especially within the legal profession, remembering that you're serving people. And in our country, with how our history has been, where people's dignity has been removed, and how sometimes you look at a certain career and think it's kind of on a pedestal, remembering that you're here to serve people, you're here to assist people. And in all that you do, I think we all just need to move forward. So helping everyone move forward and making sure that we don't leave anyone behind.
Absolutely. So what valuable lesson would you say that you would take as a key, especially having just come back from the US, you know, fresh off your mentorship program itself? What was your key takeout? What is it that you want to leave our viewers with?
I think the most fascinating thing I learned was moving from your strengths. And then while you're doing that, you may see like your weaknesses, but we were told that everything is your strength, but some strengths are stronger than others. So you find a person who's got more strength than what you don't. So collaborating, you don't have to do everything. You also don't know everything, and you don't need to. So collaborating, finding a person who's really amazing at social media, having that person do that instead of trying to do everything, because that's how you burn out, that's how you gain imposter syndrome. So yeah, working from your strengths.
Later we were told that you only have strengths. Well, you're right. work from a point of your strengths, and everything else is a work in progress. So we're not allowed to say we've got weaknesses, we've got strengths and work in progress. So yeah. That was very important.
For me, I think one of the biggest contributions to my sort of tenure as CEO and my transition as CEO has been a strong mentoring relationship that I had with our previous CEO, for example. So I think if you're committed to lifelong learning, I think the mentorship relationship has a huge potential to unlock even somebody as late in their career as, for example, I am. Because at any point in time in your career, it is actually relevant to have sort of a guide almost. And sometimes it's not just about what you can learn from someone. Sometimes it's just about having a sounding board, because that's what I found was really, really important for me. I would know what to do. I would have a plan of action. But I just wanted somebody to act as a sounding board, to sort of test the theories that I was spouting. And for me, I think that has been my greatest takeaway and, you know, the contribution to my success, because I consider myself, you know, a lifelong learner. And mentorship has just given me the opportunity, both as a mentee and as a mentor, to continue that lifelong learning journey. So what are the challenges that anybody's experienced in the Beyond Mentorship program, for example, that we've run? So I'm sure Noz wants to hear all about it. So any challenges that you guys have experienced in your journey on the Beyond Mentorship program that perhaps you'd be interested in sharing with us today?
To count few of them, I would say that some of the minimal experiences that I've like minimal things that I had, the drawbacks that I had, the fact that I'm coming from villages. So when I'm back from home, when I'm back to home, I use network and data. So in the villages, there's scarcity of network and data, and this thing was hosted on a virtual platform. Yes. So when I was at home, I would struggle to catch into calls and all that stuff. So in order to develop a pipeline and also to make this, to be sure that it is developing successfully, I would say that a contact mentorship would be a good thing for it to be a great one. So that's it for me.
And for you, Refiwe?
Personally, I did not have any challenges. I mean, apart from load shedding, which we all experienced, my only challenge was actually this person. I mean, she challenged me to put myself out there, to apply myself, you know, so she was my challenge, that's all.
But I think that means that she was doing her job.
She was doing her job, yeah.
And for you, Sipiwe?
Well, for me, it has been the schedules. So yeah, they have been hectic because sometimes I will be like pulling an all-nighter and trying to work, and then I have to like attend the virtual meetings. So I would be like working and then at the same time doing like the virtual participation. So it has been the schedules for me. I feel like our times are, her time is not my time, so she has to like organize a time that is so central to all of us so that we can all participate and just be in one thing. So I feel like the schedules and the time, so I've recently started a career, so you know you want to make an impression, and there's also something called showing up. So you are perceived and judged according to how you show up. So at the same time, I want to make an impression in my career. At the same time, I want to show up. So it has proven to be a challenge for me. So that has been it.
So may I ask, have you found a formal mentor apart from the mentorship program that we've provided? Have you, since that you've started working, have you found a formal mentor?
Yeah, I've since learned to communicate and just build relationships. So at work, I collaborate with many people I regard as mentors apart from Noz. So yeah, I've found many mentors. So yeah.
Yes, the challenges is the schedule, because someone will be attending lectures, someone will be at work, and hence I think most of the sessions we've been doing after hours to try and incorporate everyone. Yeah. But I think what worked was that people were actually open and communicating. If there was a problem, they'll be saying, no, sorry, no, I can't attend because of A, B, and C.
So, final thoughts in 30 seconds on mentorship, starting with you, Tebelo.
Sure. SIVA, it's very important that people are intentional about career mapping. You have to understand where you are going with your career. For your own personal and professional development, it's important to have a vision board of where you see yourself in the short term, medium term, and obviously long term. So I'd say career mapping is key.
Superior.
Well, to me, I would say you have to do it. In this day and age, knowledge imparting is very important, because if you are involved in mentoring, you're going to be involved and exposed to a wider range of people who are expertise in their own respective field. That can shave off on you, so you can learn a lot from those people, and it's a great opportunity for networking, so why not do it?
Apply for mentorship. It's going to shape your life, and it's going to help you transition from being a student to the work environment.
Lisa?
Always be willing to learn, even from your peers. I think that's also a great source to just learn from, because we're not competing. Your journey is your journey, but we have so much to learn just from each other.
Luvo?
To develop a strong bridge between a school, between a university life and a work life, you should undergo an mentorship program, because it's a great thing and it's a great omen, and it will accelerate your future. So a mentorship program is a great thing for someone to undergo. So yes.
Final words from our guru, mentoring guru.
As we proceed with life, we live to learn, to unlearn, to relearn, and mentorship brings all of that into a safe platform. And that's where it takes care of that fear, so that it doesn't hold you hostage as you pursue your goals, but you rather use it as that fuel and ammunition to actually actively pursue them and get them.
So some final thoughts on what did you enjoy the most about the LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program? Let's start with you, Lubo.
Those onboarding sessions that we had with my peers and also my mentors are the other things that have developed me and also drove me to chase my future, because I see someone who's at my age also chasing their future, so I don't want to be left behind. So those onboarding sessions were one of the things that I enjoyed the most.
The whole experience was a learning journey for me. So all the meetings and I enjoyed the meetings and the sessions that we had, because they were very impactful and inspirational. We engaged with people who gave us advice on life, who told us to pursue our dreams and to lead with passion. So I'd say what I enjoyed was the insight that I got from all those influential people.
Well, I enjoyed mostly the webinars, just being in the same rooms, exchanging words with the most qualified in the room. So I enjoyed that a lot, because I extracted much knowledge and much info and what's next in my career. So I enjoyed just sharing spaces with people who are qualified and just know their jobs.
Can I also go on to say that one of the most impactful session for me was one about meditation. So I'm a person who's always in their head. And we had a meditation session, and we learned to be mindful. So it gave me comfort to know that this program not only focused on transitioning from university to the work-life experience, but it also took mental health as a serious thing. So I'm really grateful for that.
My truth that I'm living this year is nothing grows from a place of comfort. So I have made myself as uncomfortable as I possibly can, hence hosting a red round table talk on mentorship. So the learnings that we've gathered clearly from our first cohort, and thank you so much to our mentees that were here today and shared your very frank and candid insights. From our first cohorts, we're obviously learning and we're refining our LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program. Now we are finally excited to officially launch year 2 of our LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program. And we are calling on all final year students at a higher education institution to heed our call and join the LegalWise Beyond Mentorship program, which is dedicated to final year students. Now, the program aims to equip selected students with skills to overcome challenges, build skills, and to give you an opportunity to network. Now, for more information on how to apply for the program, please visit us at www.legalwise.co.za or follow us on any of our social media platforms. I just want to say a huge thanks. Knowledge sharing is so terribly important, and sharing of experiences and stories is intrinsic to our general well-being. And I just want to say thank you to our esteemed panel for joining us, and to all of you for watching and listening. That's a wrap. I always wanted to say that.